Hello, my name is Graham Edwards of the Bowdoin class of 2014. Presented here is a brief overview of the findings of my research investigating the origin and metamorphism of quartz-rich garnet-amphibole lenses in the Cape Elizabeth Formation. This research took place during the summer of 2012 under the guidance of Professor Rachel Bean and was funded by the Friedman Summer Research Fellowship in Coastal and Environmental Studies. I studied the Cape Elizabeth Formation at a coastal bedrock outcrop on the southeastern shore of Bailey Island in Harpswell, Maine, near the site of the Giant Stairs, a large basaltic dike formed from cooled magma, and the structure of geologic interest, although it was not studied in this research. The Cape Elizabeth Formation, abbreviated CE, is currently interpreted to have been deposited atop felsic volcanic material of the Cushing Formation, abbreviated CU in this image, just under 470 million years ago. It was deposited primarily as fine sediment in a marine environment by a series of turbidity flows, sedimentation events in which sediment-laden water is pulled downward by gravity and deposited across abyssal plains. Following deposition, this material was buried to great depth, regionally metamorphosed, and finally exhumed over time, resulting in the rock of the Cape Elizabeth Formation as it can be observed today in southeastern Maine. Near the Giant Stairs site, the Cape Elizabeth Formation contains numerous quartz-rich lenses that exhibit abundant macroscopic crystals of the minerals garnet, amphibole, and biotite. The title of lens is derived from their oblong, lens-like shape. My research attempted to determine the depositional and metamorphic contexts that produce these quartz-rich garnet-amphibole lenses using both field and laboratory techniques. I GPS mapped lenses across this outcrop and found that individual lenses lay within 1 to 3 meter thick layers, approximately parallel with foliation and stratigraphy. I also collected several samples of rock for laboratory analysis. I observed macroscopic cross-sections of rocks as well as thin sections cut 30 microns thick. The latter were observed using a petrographic microscope, and these analyses yielded 3 important findings. Firstly, the lens rock is similar in quartz concentration and crystallography to samples of Cushing Formation rock collected in previous studies. Also, garnets demonstrated a honeycomb texture, such that the garnet is distributed as a lattice around quartz microcrystals, as can be seen in this image. In addition, the minerals garnet, amphibole, and biotite were separated into partially distinct regions. The innermost region contains mostly garnet, the outlying region from that contains mostly amphibole, and the outermost region contains mostly biotite. These last 2 observations suggest a fluid-rich metamorphic environment in which fluid dynamics had a substantial effect on mineral crystallization patterns. Based on these findings, I have developed a hypothesis proposing that the quartz-rich garnet-amphibole lenses observed in the Cape Elizabeth Formation are Cushing volcanic material mobilized by and deposited within one or more Cape Elizabeth turbidity flows, resulting in the layer-like regions observed. Then, the sediment, both Cape Elizabeth and Cushing, was buried to great depth and underwent fluid-rich metamorphism. Unfortunately, current evidence is insufficient to support this hypothesis and would require geochemical and petrographic analyses as well as a greater number of samples. But if supported, this hypothesis implies an increased role of tectonic activity and perhaps volcanism in the deposition of the Cape Elizabeth Formation, as well as novel insights into mechanisms of mineral zoning associated with metamorphic fluid movement. I wish to express special thanks to Rachel Bean for her guidance and the Friedman Summer Research Fellowship for funding this research.